What is going on, everybody? We are back with the Residual Earners podcast. We have a second-time guest on the channel today, the very lovely Reagan Rugh.
Yes,
welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Presley.
And let's get this thing rocking, going over social media, some TikTok stuff, TikTok shop, some marketing stuff online, just kind of a general social media marketing podcast here that I think you're going to like.
No, I know they're going to like it.
I know. I need to stop saying that. I said that with Randy too. I know you're going to like it.
Yes.
So
we're going to rock.
We're going to rock. What do you want to start with, Reagan?
Well, I just started my journey of posting on TikTok myself. I had gained a lot of followers back in 2021, and the worst thing I did was not monetize my TikTok. I think I had an incredible opportunity at the time to actually build a community and try to work with brands, and I just did silly, stupid stuff for probably 2 years and didn't take it seriously. It wasn't until I've seen you guys and people like Randy Hedge that are actually changing their lives with TikTok that I started to post. I've posted probably 3 videos talking about products that I actually use, that I use every day, and I actually sold products. And so now I'm seeing what TikTok can do on a personal level. I've worked with people on TikTok on a professional level. I think it's really good for your business. It's good for if you sell products to be a seller, but also the exposure on TikTok. It's incredible just as an individual.
Definitely. Let's start with your side of TikTok, and then we'll go on to a business side of TikTok. And you have a decent amount of followers, correct? More than us.
I think I have 167,000 followers.
How did you?
She's got more than us.
Yeah,
Nearly
I'm
double.
a little bit more famous.
She's a lot more famous than we are. We got just shy of 100,000, which I'm real proud of.
Well, by the time this airs, we'll be over 100.
That's true.
But between Randy and Reagan, we're the low man on the totem pole.
That's it.
But that's fine. We got something to work towards. How did you gain your following on TikTok?
So I actually had 250,000 followers. I gained it in 3 days. So I posted a video. My friends, this is going to be a
We
tough.
thought we were doing good.
No,
we got 100,000 in 7 weeks, and I was pretty excited about it. Now I'm finding out we just sucked.
We're turtle.
When I gained those followers, it was the most hectic, stressful 2 weeks of my life. I posted a video of a dog. This wasn't a fake story. There was a dog that it was my friend's neighbor, and this dog was not treated well. It was outside, a baby, underneath its fur. It was like starving. They just kept it on a chain through any type of weather, and it just never had human contact. It would just go out there and just sit by itself. But when you would go up to the fence, it was the sweetest dog. It just wanted attention. And so I made a video with a sad song and just said, this is my friend's parents' neighbor's dog. Should I go up to the door, and ask them for the dog? And I did that, my first TikTok video ever, not thinking that anything would happen. Within 1 hour, it had like 5,000 views. Overnight, it had like 100,000 views. And then within 3 days, it had 14 million views. And I gained 250,000 followers. And every comment was, you have to save the dog. You have to save the dog. Like, what are you doing? Like, where's the dog? Did you save it? And so I'm sitting here scrambling, like, I actually have to save this dog.
Gotta go now.
The pressure is on.
Like, the world, if I don't do this, I'm canceled. Like, I built all this credibility, and then they're going to cancel me. So I have to save this dog. I wanted to.
And?
I went up to the door, and I had $1,000. I was prepared to buy the dog for $1,000 to not get canceled. My reputation was on the line. So I walked up to the door, and I'm like, hey, I've noticed your dog. You guys don't really play with the dog or anything. Would you be interested in giving the dog away? Like, I'm willing to pay for it. And they're like, oh, please take the dog. Like, we would have let the dog just run away. We hate that dog. So they gave me the dog. They gave me collars. So I packed up the dog, sat in the back. My friend Bailey came with me. She was driving. I'm sitting in the back. This dog's never been trained, hardly had any human interaction. So it's scratching me on the face, like just totally, I'm all bruised, scratched. I bring it to my house, and we have another German Shepherd. It was a German Shepherd. They wanted to kill each other. It would have never worked out. So I had no idea what to do. So there was this woman named Mara. I think her name was Mara. She was just someone in the TikTok community that loved dogs, so she gave me advice, and the TikTok community started to come together and give me advice because I was stuck.
All 250,000 followers.
Yeah, I mean, I had like country music singers commenting like "You go, girl," and then like PetSmart, people wanting to do brand deals. I didn't know about any of that, so I just ignored it all because I ignored the comments because some of them were so hateful, and I was just, I don't even need to read anything. They could be praising me, they could be hating me. I ended up finding a friend that knew of someone that could take the dog in, a family, and they sent me photos, and the dog was the best thing that ever happened to them. So I posted the
Happy ending.
happy ending. And what's funny is there's this happy ending video. I said, guys, I wasn't the right fit for the dog, but I found this perfect family, and I posted the photos, and they didn't care. The comments were like, well, the dog liked you. The dog wanted you. Why didn't you keep the dog? You just gave it away. And I got all this hate. So I started posting.
You just can't make them happy.
I couldn't make them happy. So
No.
so I tried posting stuff. I tried to take it seriously. And every video I posted said, where's the dog? Where's the dog? Update on the dog. I'm like, guys, I'm not dog girl anymore. Like now I'm Reagan. And Reagan wasn't good enough.
Were you even in the first video? What was the first video? How long was it? What exactly was it?
The first video was just a video of the dog jumping on a barbed wire fence. And it was like that sad, it's like a sad, maybe it was a Sarah McLachlan song. I don't know. It was just a sad song. And you could see the dog like jumping and trying to get attention. That's all it was. It was maybe 30 seconds.
And it got 14 million views.
Yeah, 14
You know,
million views.
could we go out and
I'll find a dog.
could we go video Remington
there's a
or
dog somewhere out
Gemma
there.
or somebody that we could video 14 million views?
That's bizarre. And it almost, you wish it wasn't your first video.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
if you knew now if you knew then what you know now, you could have done so much more with it.
I could have done so much more. And I made...
She could have been queen of Purina dog
I
chow.
know.
I mean, I'm telling you.
She could have owned.
She could have owned it.
Yeah.
At the time, I just became friends with a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners. So they're all sitting at a table with me like, hey, you can sell Petco, your TikTok, nothing under $500,000. And I'm sitting here like, what? How do you even get in? And people are like strategizing for me and they're trying to help me. But I let it go. And then I ended up bartering with my fitness trainer. I got trained for free and told him he could take over my TikToks. I didn't even care. And then he started getting random comments because people were like, how do I even... He took over with his content and it hurt my TikTok. So I went from 250,000 followers to what I have now because of that. So I eventually took it back over. I tried to be funny. I was like, maybe I'll just be stupid and silly and see where this gets me. Well, that didn't work. So now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to post and see what happens. And I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to try to build a brand right now, or the overthinking, I think, keeps people from succeeding. So right now I'm just going to post things that I like and try to hit the trends. And if something hits, it hits. And hopefully I can keep up the momentum.
See, I think it's almost just being consistent. It's hard. It's hard to get success like you did with it, but it's hard to, like, for instance, for us, it's not instant success with videos. Like Presley does unbelievable on the lives, that. But the videos, it's staying consistent with that, posting every day, and over a 6 month, a year, a 2 year period, they become something. But it's hard, those initial videos, and I would love to know how many people have more views on their first video that aren't, some big star that got on TikTok, something like that. Just one of us that got on there, first video, 14 million views. There can't be many people that have more than that.
I think she's very exclusive.
Very exclusive.
I think we're setting an exclusive
I know.
company
Yeah.
here.
Most
I'm
people get 5 views.
I got very lucky, but also I think it just depends. I see this all the time, and I see TikTokers say this. You never know when something's going to hit.
No.
It can hit at the beginning. It could hit a year later. You have to commit, just like with any marketing service. Any service you do when you do in marketing, if it's SEO, if it's PPC, you need to commit to a certain period of how long can I actually do this consistently before I stop? Like, how much time can I give this? Because I've seen people on TikTok say they've posted 2-3 years and then something just took off. And obviously you wouldn't want to put in that much time for 3 years, but I think there's enough room for everybody.
Definitely.
Even if you think like, how am I different? I'm not that special. There's enough room for everybody on the app. There's a lot of people out there,
And it's still just gaining traction.
Yep.
You know, it's
Oh,
unbelievable.
TikTok's in its infancy.
Yeah. So you're
You know, let's do this real quick. Tell people about kind of your background and you know, if they've watched you on a previous podcast with us, they know. But for the new folks, tell them real quick what what your background is, Reagan.
So I went into the marketing field in maybe 2018. I worked for a small agency. I was working for an attorney, and I was doing his marketing. So I decided to leave the law firm and work for a marketing agency. But I was basically given the reins at 19 to run it. So I was going to the networking events. The company was called Purple Cow, and I had to get put into the business.
I know. Did they have
Yeah.
purple microphones?
No, they didn't.
Ah.
They may have some now, but they
That's a
didn't
miss. That's a big miss.
back then. Yeah. So I started going to networking events. I was exposed to things I was a little bit scared of. I was scared to do the elevator pitches, but I had to.
Really?
Oh, I was so.
Oh, really?
They would give
Scared
me
of
the
them? Bummer.
microphone, and this was me, like shaking, and everyone would see it. And I would do my elevator pitch and shake like this, and then just hand it over to somebody else. It was the most traumatizing. I felt traumatized, but I had to do it.
And nowadays, you're so comfortable in front of a microphone.
Oh yeah, this doesn't scare me, but the camera.
But this seat does.
That seat scares me.
It's the chair.
I know it's a change of angles.
Yeah.
It's the chair, and it's just everybody staring like this.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
It is
but
weird at first. And
It
guys,
is.
we're talking about making some videos for TikTok. We did a few earlier, and we're giving her a hard time over it.
I think like having conversations like this are easy and natural for me, but when I'm put on the spot, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm thinking in my brain, okay, what do I say that's perfect? I have to make sure it's perfect. So that's been a little bit of a it
So keep going though. You started working for this firm.
Yeah. So I started working for the firm, left it to go to this agency. I started networking a lot, meeting a lot of people. And then I met this guy through networking that had a bigger marketing agency that offered me a higher paying position in a job that I just thought would be really fun. So I went in and worked for that agency. I also did business development at first, so I was still doing a lot of networking. And then I eventually asked if I could be an account manager because I didn't like the aspect of going and networking and then never speaking to those people again because I got emotionally tied to the prospects. Like I enjoyed meeting the people. I felt this responsibility that I had to take care of them. I don't know if it was like control or relational, but I would meet people and then they would go, buy into our services and then I wouldn't get to go to the meetings and I didn't like that. So I asked if I could be an account manager. So then I became the account manager for the company, and then eventually some of my friends worked with the company that are business owners. And one day, one of my good friends asked me why I couldn't run the business myself, like run this same type of business. I can contract the same people. I have the right people in my corner, and I really didn't have an answer for the question. I didn't know why I couldn't do it or why I would do it. And then one day I just got the courage and I quit, and then I was lucky. Some of my friends were my first client, so I had business right away.
So you started your own firm.
Yes, and we started doing we did a lot. We did photography, videography, branding, social media marketing, website development, SEO, and PPC. I just kind of offered everything because I had all the connections. If there's a service I love the most that now I'm niching down to, it's SEO, and probably SEO is the number one, and then website development comes with that.
I got you. And you like doing branding too, though.
I love branding.
Yeah.
Branding, although it's not one of my main services, I still have the team to support and do it. And I love being at the beginning steps of someone's dream or vision. I think that is incredible. Like this brand, seeing this brand come to life, and then seeing all of the followers and all of the traction you guys are getting, like that gives me an emotional feeling, like a good emotional feeling that I was able to be a part of that in some small way.
No, you're part of this.
And guys, Reagan did all the branding for us. So the colors, the logo, even our caricature over here was all Reagan, which is just awesome.
Hey, by the way, we'll do it at the end, but tell people how they can get in touch with you if they want to use your expertise.
I prefer that you find me on LinkedIn, Reagan Rugh, ReaganRugh, or you can visit my website, newdirectionseo.com. Newdirectionagencyseo.com.
Make up your mind. Which one is it now?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, all right. All right. Y'all got it. She's the best.
The best.
I mean, we wouldn't have had her on once, let alone twice, if we didn't think she was the best. So
Definitely. So jumping back into TikTok Shop, you're just getting going with that. How long have you been doing TikTok Shop?
2 weeks.
How many products so far?
So I've listed probably over 30 products in my showcase, and I've only advertised 2, and I've made 2 to 3 videos on that, and I've sold, I think, 11 products.
And it's real, like that's the thing for people listening, it's real money.
Yeah.
Like it takes some time to get going, and you have to get to that 1,000 mark, which we talked about with Randy. We talked about at lunch today that that's tough.
Yeah.
And then once you can get going on lives and this other stuff, it starts to build on itself if you want to put the work in. And, that's the way that we did it. We didn't go live at first once we hit 1,000, but now Presley goes live every single morning. I do it as much as possible. And you can really gain a good base of followers by just doing that. So you've already sold products in 2 weeks, and
she's ahead of Randy.
Randy
Randy went a couple of months before he sold anything. A couple of months.
I guess my question is, when do you think that snowball really gains in those videos? Now you're up to 40 products with multiple videos out on each one of them. How long does it take? And I know it's different for everybody, for that snowball to start gaining some traction.
So I've done a lot of research on this because for me, I think I just got lucky all around. I got that many followers a long time ago in 3 days. My engagement is actually not the best these days. I did get good engagement on the 2 videos I made for the products. But I think for the typical person starting off, what I see and what I've researched and I've seen other creators talk about is it takes around 3 to 4 months is the average to gain. One, you have to gain enough followers to even have products in your shop, and you guys know this. You have to gain 1,000 followers to go live. I think you have to have 10,000 followers to become a creator, and then you can list products, and that takes a while. And we just talked about this. The longest part of the process is probably getting the first 1,000 followers, but doing the lives, that has been incredible for you guys in gaining followers. I don't know why anyone wouldn't be doing the lives. I think I've seen how much time I've spent on random people's lives, and I think I talked about this last time. If I'm over here watching a hamster go on a wheel, and that's not hypothetical or an analogy, I've literally watched a hamster running on a wheel. I was ashamed of myself. It was probably 30 minutes of my time it was just, I don't know why it was so extraordinary to me. Then you could probably offer something on a live that's just as engaging. I hope so. I've seen people sitting eating a bowl of cereal, and I'm sitting there like, okay, where are they about to say something? And there's 10,000 people watching.
The one I sent Presley is these guys have dug a hole, and it's probably the size of our mat there, or the size of this rug, and they filled it with water, and it's a mud hole, and there's 3 guys. They do not say a word, and if a gift comes in, they dance. And if it's the cowboy hat, they do like a cowboy dance. And if it's I sit there and I'm watching that. There's multiple thousand people in there. Gifts are just pouring in. These guys are making a killing. And I sent it to him like,
now mind you, they don't say a word.
You can't compete with this.
No.
I told Jordo, let's dig a hole. I mean, come on.
The same kind of deal with that hamster. It's like I'm sitting here watching these guys dance around like idiots. And I sit there for 10 minutes. I'm like, what am I watching?
And the person behind the hamster is like, you want me to put the hamster back in there? Send me a rose. Follow me. And then people are like, yeah, I want to don't stop the hamster. I don't know what it is. Our attention spans are terrible these days. I guess we're bored and we like to disconnect. I think a lot of people really like to disconnect from reality, what's going on in their home, what's going on in their business, what's going on in their personal lives. So TikTok is like a little bit of their disconnect. Me and my friends talk about this. I could delete my Instagram and be fine. I cannot delete my TikTok. I've created like a safe space in my TikTok. It's the things that I like. It's the videos that I like. My algorithm. You have a better ability to build out your For You page than you have on your Explore page on Instagram. So my TikTok is my safe place. You can't take it from me. But even like on the lives, once you watch a live, you're seeing that live all the time. So if there's certain types of lives that I like, I'm going to get content like that. And it's just a little bit of a disconnection from what can be going on out in the outside world. And I think that's why people get a little bit attached to these random videos, because even though they're weird or unique, they're nothing like what's going on the outside.
Definitely.
Now, have you done a live?
I have.
Did you get scared?
I was scared on the live. I didn't know what I was doing. It's weird when you start a live unintentionally. I will say, I'm just sitting there just waiting for someone to talk to me. I'm like, hello guys. And I'll be honest, when I first did a live, I thought I was getting likes on my live, but I thought those were the viewers. So the first time I ever did one, I thought I had like 200 viewers, but people were falling off on the right side. There was really like 2 people. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Well, there's 200 of you. Like, what questions do you have for me? And I'm just sitting there, crickets. Like, okay, well, all 200 of you and no questions. I guess I got to go. But then I'm thinking,
But there was really 2.
There was really 2 people. People were just like scrolling.
You were looking at the likes.
I was looking at the likes. I learned quickly that that's not the same thing. But I think you do have to have something. You have to have something, whether it's something happening in the background, whether it is something small that you're doing. People play chess, and you know, people on live will watch other people play chess. People will be crocheting, and there's something comforting about watching someone doing crochet. So I guess if you're like a cute girl and you're sitting there and you're being cute and doing your makeup, like people will watch you do your makeup, you have to be doing something. But I can encourage everybody to just go on there and do it. For example, I bought a product that it's a heatless, it's like heatless overnight curls. So you put your hair up in this thing. You don't have to use a curling iron. And when you wake up, you're supposed to have this beautiful hair. I bought it 2 days ago. It just came in. So I'm going to do a TikTok live. And I'm going to, while I'm doing the live, I'm going to be putting my hair up in it. I'm just going to let people do it with me. I don't know how to do it. So people can give me advice. I'm going to put my hair up, and then I'm going to tell everybody, hey, I'll be posting a video tomorrow morning of the results. If you want to see the results, see how my hair turned out, follow me. Well, most likely people that stayed and are curious are going to go, well, if that works, I'm going to buy it. So I'm going to gain followers overnight and then post the video. I'll have people waiting for that video, and then I'll have the product listed in my shop for them to buy.
But you can also list it during your live.
Yes.
You thinking about getting one of those things?
I'm going to watch.
Curl
If she does
your
a
hair?
good job selling it, then
Yeah.
there is a chance.
I posted the mini projector I have in my shop. I went live for 15 minutes, and I linked the mini projector, and I was just showing Lord of the Rings for 15 minutes. I went live the other day, and it shows you how many people view your product. I had over 1,000 people view the product for 15 minutes of me just showing Lord of the Rings.
That's what our buddy we had a call with this morning said. He went 15 to 20 minutes and made, how much did he make? 1,000, 2,000 this morning?
2,000, I think.
2,000, which is crazy.
Yeah,
And a 15-minute shop live.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, and I'll say this, for you guys that are thinking about going live on TikTok, I have stood in front of thousands of people and given speeches. Thousands. I got more nervous doing that live the first time than I do when I walk
It
out
is
on
just
stage.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
just different because you're sitting there by yourself. You're staring at your phone or your iPad or a camera, and you're just talking. And, you know, the only interaction you get is when they send you a comment, which has been great.
Yeah.
And now I feel fine doing it. I mean, it's no big deal. But I'm telling you, that first time or two, it was like, this is weird.
And now that you can see the comments, I feel like it's going to be easier. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I thought you could do better initially is responding to the comments. Because you have your stuff that's just like rock solid every time. And then now if you throw that, hey, guys, ask some questions. We have the new, I thought about the new YOLO Live, guys. We got to, if you haven't watched it before, and we don't get paid for sales of this, but go check out a YOLO Live for going live. it helps you have multiple cameras, overlays. You know, you can put your logo up there, whatever, and you can also do an HDMI out to a screen, which is what we did for Presley. And now he can read comments and you know, I thought about the overlays having like 10 questions, and then you can like click on the on that question and have it come up and people can answer it. Or, you know, you can put one up behind you that says, "Hey guys, shoot me questions now." And then people start throwing questions in. It's just so cool with the different things you can do with it.
Well, I mean, keep this in mind. When I first started, well, actually up until just a couple of days ago, I'm doing my lives on my phone. Well, it's setting up a few feet from me so that we get the right camera angle. Well, my eyes are not like they were back when I was 20, so I couldn't read it. So the comments would be coming in, and I couldn't really tell what the comments were. So then I'd have to put my glasses on and lean way up to see them. And, you know, I wouldn't do that all the time. So a lot of times people be asking questions, or there was something I should have responded to that I didn't. But now Jordan got me hooked up. I got this big old monitor, and I mean, you can set off a few feet with no glasses on, and I can see those questions coming in just fine. So I'm excited about our new setup.
Did you see his old setup?
No.
It was that.
He had a gimbal.
My gimbal.
With that on it. And half the time his gimbal runs out of battery. And
So
his
it
phone
would
just
drop.
like, it was terrible.
You know, Zig Ziglar.
And you can't, like, the way the gimbal's set up, it's hard to put the charging cable in and it
Yeah.
stay like where it needs to stay.
Yeah.
So he couldn't charge his phone. The
Yeah.
gimbal would just die. I'm just going to get a $20 deal off Amazon.
Yeah.
That just sits there and your phone clicks in and you're done.
You're supposed to be taking care of me,
I
Jordan.
took care of you.
I know what you did now, but you let me just struggle for so long. You know, Zig Ziglar says it all the time. He says you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. Well, I certainly wasn't great to get started, but I feel like I'm getting better and better. And, you know, kind of like Reagan was talking about, you know, you do it a time or two and your comfort zone grows and it gets easier. And then you do it a couple more times and your comfort zone grows and it gets a little easier. And you just keep doing that to pretty soon. You know, now I actually look forward to doing my lives. I mean,
Yeah.
I look forward to getting in there and talking to people and helping people and giving them advice. And, you know, I'm an early riser, so I do mine from, you know, about 6 a.m. Central Time to somewhere 8:30, 9, somewhere in there. And then I get my day going, you know, so I do it early. It doesn't really affect my schedule a whole lot because I wouldn't be doing much from between 6 and 8 anyway, and I'm already up. So I just get on there and give advice, and I've had a blast doing it. The response has been pretty amazing. I mean, in 7 weeks, we've gone almost, like we said, to 100,000 followers. Our YouTube channel here, well, my gosh, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers.
We'll be over 10,000 when it airs.
Yeah, when this airs, we'll be over 10,000, and it's just been amazing to me. You know, the response has been pretty phenomenal.
And now I guarantee you, if you didn't do a live for one day, people would be wondering if you're okay.
Yeah. Did he
Because
have
it's
a
been
wreck?
so consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you now have a tribe and a community of people that go on your live every day.
And I think that's another key to it as well, is being consistent.
Yeah.
Because she's so right on that it's people are always commenting, because obviously I run the back end with the comments and questions, but everybody's always talking about, you know, thanks for jumping on. I come on every morning with you guys. So happy. Gets my day started off so much better. Like, there's so many nice comments and everybody's waiting. And especially the subscribers on there, like, they are locked in and they fight for you when people say stupid stuff in there. I mean, they're there to
They back you up.
they're there to shut them down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, you know, one of the most amazing things, I'll tell them, hey, I'm going to go get me another cup of coffee. So I'm gone a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. I come back and, you know, we start off, we have 850. I come back and we still got 750 people watching a chair, you know, just looking at an empty chair while I'm gone to get my coffee. And I'm always amazed at how many people will just sit there and just watch an empty chair till I get back, you know. But I'm thankful they do, because it'd be disappointing if you came back and there was nobody there. But you get a bunch.
Are you planning on doing more live?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think your schedule will be with that?
So I would love to go live every day. I'm just having that issue that I would, if I were to give advice to somebody, just do it, even though I'm struggling with that on my own. I'm having the issue of what I would do on my live, what I would talk about. I'm so big on, I just want to give people value. So I have to kind of get over that and just go live and see how people are going to interact with me. Or maybe I'm doing something in the background, like something I do at night is I make a magnesium tea before I go to bed. It can be something as simple as that, as I'm making my tea. I can call it tea talks, and every night I'm just even recapping my day, talking about my clients. I think I have to get over the fact I shouldn't even look at how many followers or how many people are viewing me or anything. I should just do it as if I do have people viewing me, because I think eventually over time, that's what happens in branding. Over time, someone may come across my live once because TikTok's going to feed it to them. Like, I don't know that person. And then the next day they see it again because they did come across it, maybe watched for 5 seconds. TikTok's going to probably feed them my live again. Like, hey, who is this girl? And then over time, after 7 times, because that's the number in branding, they're going to maybe become a part of my community. I said something that related to them, a TikTok later, and then they end up following me. And then once you get a follow, you know, they're getting notified every time you go live. So
Yeah.
I personally am struggling with what am I going to say or do, but I kind of have an idea of what I should be doing, but I believe I should be going live every day.
We agree with that. And what you
Absolutely.
need to do is, you know, over a week, go every other day, one with Presley, one with Randy, and just get
Yeah.
comfortable with the feeling.
Yeah.
And then and how people are responding, because obviously Randy, and he is too, but Randy especially, Randy's so good like at asking the questions, at making everybody feel comfortable, at like setting you up for success. And then you start getting the feedback, and then when you do go off your own, you have that, you already know the feeling, what people respond to, how to do it, then it'll make
Yep.
it way easier.
I learned this a long time ago, probably when I was 19, which was a long time ago. But in branding,
You're gonna look like that.
for me, it was a long time ago.
Oh my God.
For you and for him?
These tennis shoes are probably older than you are. So, I mean, Jesus, you know.
Well, when I was 19, in my years, a long time ago, I learned that in branding, you have to treat yourself, your business, you have to have this confidence as if you're a celebrity. You have to move like you are a celebrity. And so when you're on TikTok, even when you're doing, you know, product videos, you have to be delusional enough to think that millions of people are watching this. And if you have that delusion, your confidence is different. The way you're speaking is different. So if you are going live, you know, fake it till you make it. Do whatever you have to. I mean, there's a point where I have probably asked my sisters to comment on my stuff or to comment on my live, because even though I asked for it, even having somebody engaging with me is going to bring out a little bit of something more natural. If you're going live and nobody's asking you questions, ask your mom to ask questions. Listen, if it prompts some questions, do what it takes to get yourself out of that hole initially. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Not at all. No.
And while we're on the subject of lives and that, getting that interaction is so important. And, you know, we've started doing, you know, if you agree with that last statement, put a 1 in the comments. Just whatever way you can to get the comments flowing, just get them flowing.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm also going, hey, tell me where you're live streaming in from. You know, oh,
Yeah.
Alabama, oh, New York,
Well, you do
St.
that
Louis.
probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
a
you know,
morning.
because, you know, the thing I have learned that it took me a while to realize, you can repeat what you say just about every 10 minutes, start over, because you got a whole batch of new people for the most part. I mean, there may be 1 or 2 of your, you know, diehards that stay with you, but for the most part, you're talking to a whole new group of people every 5 minutes.
Yep.
So, you know, I had to realize that, because I was trying, you know, like I do a 3-hour live.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's hard to come up every day with new material to go 3 hours with. So, you know, I got where, you know, I'll go 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then I'll start over on whatever I had for that day. And I mean, you know, it's gone phenomenally well. I mean, I get tired of hearing what I say. I think it's really what it boils down to. I get tired of hearing me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they do, or not much, but, you know, for me, it's like, oh my gosh, I just said that 45 minutes ago, and now I'm starting over. You know, I mean, it bothers me. But when you're doing lives every day for 2 or 3 hours, it's like you got to come up with some stuff to talk about.
Yep.
Randy's great because he can tell a million stories, and I think, you know, you can too. Just tell a story about whatever's going on.
Yep.
Just, you know, hey, this happened with a client today. People like to hear that stuff. My gosh, if they'll watch 3 guys in a mud hole dance, they'll certainly listen to you talking about a client. You know, I mean,
I've done it.
Yeah, or a hamster on a wheel. You know.
And the other thing, it's like those first 1,000 followers. Once you get past and like get people actually in there, and they keep showing up, probably once you get to 50 plus averaging, you get enough comments that you can start talking to people.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes a lot easier, because when you have nobody, it's like a lot of self-doubt, a lot of awkwardness. You're not talking to anybody. Because I think I said on another, I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but when we did the lives, when we tried to live the podcast, and it was like, nobody is watching. No one. We were back, and there were like 4 people. And we're like, Randy keeps saying, guys, you got to live. Like, it works so well. This is how you, like, put gasoline on your followers and just let it grow like crazy. And then it's like, Randy, we got 4 people. 0 new followers.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot now. So what am I doing?
And then all of a sudden.
And then it just goes.
And I think once you stay consistent, so it's the brand awareness. So stay consistent, maybe be in the same chair, have the same branding, have the same thing. But once you have your tribe, then you can kind of go off and live in different environments, because now they're going to follow you wherever you go. They don't care if you're sitting here or if they see Presley's office desk or if he's on the golf course. Maybe they even be like, oh, Presley's golfing today. What is he going to say today? Actually, I wonder if that guy's good at golf, as good as he is motivational speaking.
Yep.
You now have a community of people that will follow you no matter what. So it kind of opens up the doors for lives.
No, it does. You said you had a couple of subjects you wanted to cover that we really didn't have in our notes. What was one of those? Something about the trolls and the scammers and stuff like that. I think you wanted to say a word about them, didn't you?
The floor is yours.
The floor is
I
yours.
have some beef.
Let them have it.
Yeah.
I have some beef with the trolls.
Get angry. Go ahead.
Okay, so I really love, if you've come across this channel, you have a trustworthiness with Presley and Jordan. There's a lot of credibility. When they're teaching you how to change your finances, you're getting a lot of value. And I think that's why your brand is so attractive, is because it's authentic. There's a lot of value. There's proof in the pudding. There's testimonials everywhere. I am so tired, and everybody knows, everybody's seen this on TikTok. I don't know why I'm getting like mad talking about it.
Let them have it.
Get fired up.
I am so tired of the young men and women, because it's mainly young men and women, that you see a TikTok and they're like, if you want to be a multimillionaire, you need to quit your 9-to-5 and you need to buy my course, and you're only going to be working 2 to 3 hours a day and you're going to be a millionaire. And I'm mad because one time I bought a course. I spent the.
So are you a millionaire now?
No.
Did you quit your job and became a millionaire like that?
No, I thought I was magically going to happen. I bought the course for $200 and I was waiting to be a million. I went through the course, and I'm not dogging on anybody's, because there's some really valuable courses. If you take their course, if you take Randy Hedges' course, they've put in a lot of work to give you the roadmap to be successful. And I believe that, just like when I sell my services, there's been years and years and years and years of work between me and my team to charge what I charge for my service. But these courses from these people, be careful of who you're buying courses from, because if it's somebody that's telling you right now you can quit your 9-to-5 and become a millionaire, that is the worst advice that someone could be giving you. I think it's so terrible to be telling people to quit their jobs that provide them money, that provide for their families or their children or themselves, and telling them and selling them this as if it's 100% a fact that if you spend $200 today, you're only going to work 2 hours every day and you're going to be a multimillionaire. There is no business owner that I personally know that's extremely successful that is working 1 to 2 hours today. My most successful friends are still working 10 hours a day. Now, you can hire out people and you can do these things in your business to help get you to that point, but that is not real. I mean, you guys are creating content, you have multiple businesses outside of this, but Residual Earners itself, the amount of time spent on this, are you guys working 1 to 2 hours a day?
You can physically watch him work 3 hours a day on live.
From about 6 to 9 a.m. Central Time, you can watch me put in 3 hours right there.
Well, it's like coming into town is always a lot more, but it's like yesterday it started at 5 a.m. and ended at 11. And that was straight through. Eating was the only breaks. And then from basically 10 to 11, I went on a run up and down the driveway. And like that was literally all day long.
Yeah.
working yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is not a normal day by any means, people. But I couldn't do, what is that? How many hours is that?
A lot.
A lot. I couldn't do that every day, but you definitely have to put in a lot of work.
Yeah. I think obviously there's a lot of people that get to a point where they only have to work 3 to 4 hours a day. And who knows, in the future, you guys could probably teach how to monetize, hire, automate,
Yeah.
your content. There's all of those things. But to be telling people to quit their jobs and that you only have to work 2 hours a day to be a multimillionaire, it's just not real. I mean, if you want to make money, you have to work. And I think you talk about this with some of your other businesses. I mean, you have to be willing to work. And you say that in your intro. You have to work. You have to make no excuses. If you have a 9 to 5 and you want to side hustle and you want to make money and you want to make TikToks, keep your 9 to 5, keep your steady income, but you can be a TikTok creator and make these videos on top of your full-time job.
Amen. No. Now, do I have to work? No. But it's in me that I don't want to sit on the back porch and rock all the time.
Yeah.
I like to go to the beach, but I don't want to lay on the beach every day, all day. I mean, I still want to contribute. And if you're trying to accomplish something, if you've got dreams and goals, you're going to get up in the morning with a passion. The reason I get up in the morning and doing these lives now is I see a vision for what TikTok could be. I see a vision that this could be like gigantic.
Yeah.
I see a vision where there's going to be a chance to make a lot of money because you can leverage yourself so much with this. So I'm excited about that. So am I willing to get up at, 5, start a live at 6, go to 9? Yeah. And then, 9 would be probably when I'd be starting my normal business day anyway, and I start doing the normal business stuff. But that way I've put in my 3 hours. We've had a great time on live. I feel like I've give people some value. I feel like I've got their day started positive, and I feel like we're building a base for something that could be phenomenally huge. But you got to be excited about what you're doing. I mean, you talked about that when we did our podcast with Randy, but you got to believe in what you're doing. I'm guessing you believe in this.
I believe in this. And I like stuff. The car business was always hard on me because it's always for a future gain. There's no gain today. And I like businesses where I can put more effort in today, which turns into dollars over the next few weeks. That's the kind of stuff I like pushing for. And I can push really hard with stuff like that, with businesses like that, because I see the work I'm putting in equates to what I'm wanting out of that work, which is also just a awesome deal. And with this kind of stuff, it doesn't take away from family time as much. You can put it here, stick it there, do podcasts or do lives before they wake up. Most of the time, like when we were in Calgary, 5 a.m. to 7, we were doing lives. Kids get up around 7. So it's like I've already put 2 hours in before the kids even woke up. So it's just cool how flexible it is and how, the work you put in, you see the return.
Quickly, if you want it. I say quickly, relatively quickly.
No, it takes work.
Yeah.
As Reagan was just saying, it takes work. But I do believe I'll take your reasonable intelligence. If you have reasonable intelligence and put in 6 months to a year, you can definitely start making enough money to live on if you're really putting in the time. That's not a guarantee, but from what I've seen and the people we talk to, in 6 months of doing it, Randy had a $26,000 month. It's definitely possible.
No, it is possible. I think it is possible if you're 18 to 80. I mean, it's not like there's just a certain demographic that can do it. I don't think it matters if you're male, female, old, young, black, brown, white, green. I mean, I don't think any of that stuff matters. Educated, uneducated. I don't really think it matters. Again, I think it helps if we've got reasonable intelligence, but you certainly don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. It's more about just that burning desire inside. Do you really want more out of life? Are you willing to do what it takes to be successful? Something I'd like to hear you talk about real quick, and then we can get Reagan's thoughts on it, is podcasts. Where do you see this going? Because we started this thing about 7 or 8 months ago, and, we now have by the time this airs, it'll be 10,000, over 10,000 subscribers.
Well, Reagan and I were just talking about that whenever you went up back to the house. Obviously we want it to keep growing, but then it's how do you monetize it? How do you get sponsors for the channel? Reagan was giving us some ideas on that, but I think the next two steps are finding a sponsor for the channel and starting to reach out to other podcasts, other people we want to talk to and bring them in. Because we're finally to the size where we can. I never wanted, with 100 subscribers, I'm not trying to go, find somebody with 100,000
Hey, Joe
subscribers.
Rogan, you want to come on?
Come on in, bud. So now that we have a bigger following, get some people that also have a following where, just helps both of us. So continue to grow it, start to grow it a little faster, and get somebody to sponsor the old Swaggerty Boys. Isn't that what we're called? The Swag Bros.
The Swag Bros.
The Swag Bros.
Yeah, the trainer at our gym goes, "Oh, the Swag Bros."
Yeah. It's crazy how I was obviously in the beginning stages of this, and nobody knowing where this is going to go. Like, none of us knew how big this would get, and it's a huge blessing. But the craziest part is when I go to my gym, and one of the trainers there knew them because he came across one of their lives, and he now watches them all the time. And I thought that was just crazy. It's you don't really believe it right then. Right when you're starting, you see the small amount of followers, you see the small amount of views, and it's just like, okay, you just got to stay consistent. And then once it hits, it's like, wow, you guys have gone, in 2 months since you've been going live, you've just grown tremendously. And that there is the proof that people really value you. And when there's people that I randomly know and run into that are waking up every day and watching your lives, I mean, they're not missing your lives. And you have something very tangible. And I think that's also important too. Like, I do see videos of, I think when you're just acting as an individual and as an influencer, you can kind of get away with being unintentional, and you can make a lot of videos, and maybe you have a little bit of a personality or a brand. But if you want to have a really big impact on people, you got to give them something tangible, and you guys have that factor.
No, we try to. Obviously, I don't ever want to get on there and waste people's time.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to waste my time. So I want to give them value, and I think Jordan and I do give people value, and I think that's why they come back. Like this morning, it blew me away. We were on for just a couple hours, but we had like 67,000 people come through, which is just, to me, mind-boggling how many people that is in just a couple-hour period. 67,000 people came through. So, we're thankful for all the people that follow us, subscribe to us, do all that stuff. We're thankful to anybody watching us right now. So, we're excited to have Reagan here. Tell us what's your thoughts. Jordan gave us his thoughts on podcasts. What's your thoughts on podcasts?
I always believe that when you're building a brand just like this, you should be utilizing all of the resources and platforms. One platform could be very, way more successful than the other, but YouTube is a really, really strong platform. I saw somebody make fun of Bryson DeChambeau the other day. They're like, this guy makes millions. Why does he do YouTubes? It's so dumb. This guy likes to make money. It's not dumb. If you take a look at his YouTube, he has phenomenal people he's playing golf with. The views are crazy. And YouTube is a free platform to put your content on. You can make so much money on there. And actually, YouTube works with Google as a search engine. So when you're Googling something, YouTube videos will surface to answer that question to help people. So if you're a person that operates a business and you want to start a podcast and you think your podcast reflects, some of the things that of your business that could be helpful to others, you have ranking possibilities. Outside of YouTube and within YouTube. YouTube will pay you for your views. I think the most important thing people have to get over with a podcast, just like the TikTok, is you have to be consistent. You have to be able to commit minimum a year. I would say for YouTube growth, minimum a year.
We've been at it 37 weeks now.
Yeah.
No, 36. This is 37.
This is 37.
Yeah.
So, 8 months plus.
Yep.
So.
But I do think it's important to also realize what is your strongest platform. And obviously, your strongest platform is TikTok. I really do believe because of the lives. I think your community loves to share the real live moments with you every day. It's like their morning cup of coffee is to get inspired by Presley every morning. So also, if you're looking at the data and what your consumers like, and if you're pay attention to the comments, pay attention to the YouTube comments, pay attention to the TikTok comments. Your people will tell you what they like and they don't like, and you can serve them better.
Do you know anything about YouTube Live?
I've never done YouTube Live.
So
I don't think it's very popular.
no, but what it does do is gives you a bunch more content because they don't go away.
Yeah.
They're always on there.
So you get to save the lives.
You don't even, it's automatic.
Yeah.
It's there. We will mess around with it.
We did a
one day.
live just to mess with it. And I mean, I'm sitting there rubbing through my hair, and I'm talking about, "Hey, Jordan, what do you think? Should we hit this button? Should we?" Do? All of a sudden, we finish, and I say, "Okay, well, that's enough. We kind of figured it out." Well, next thing I know, that's posted.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is on YouTube, and I'm going, Jordan, we got to get rid of that. That was not meant for public consumption, you know.
Because what I thought about doing, and give me your thoughts on this. I have another device I was thinking about taking back, another YOLO, but it's for YouTube. So you can set up a second camera and stream them at the same time.
Yep. So
And that way content's getting on YouTube every day that people are watching.
historically, when you use all the tools a social media or a platform gives you, if you're using all of the tools, you're better for it. So I've seen this with Instagram. Instagram wants you to be using all of their features, all of their tools. When you make reels, you have to pick out topics. If you're skipping all of that, why not use all of the tools they're giving you? With TikTok, use the tools. You know, a lot of people don't go live. They don't think they need to. They're missing out on huge opportunities if they don't. They could just be posting. So my recommendation, and I say this historically because over time, people think something's not important as a tool. And then that one person does it, that other podcaster does it, and then they get a bunch of traction, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, well, they're doing it now. Now we're going to do it. Go ahead and take advantage of all the tools a platform provides. If you have the capacity to do YouTube Lives, I would say do them because you can only benefit from doing it.
Well, we may try it out.
Yeah.
It's another thing you can do.
As long as I can do it in conjunction with the first 3 hours, I don't have the emotion in me to do another 3-hour segment. I'm telling you, because when I do my lives, it takes something out of me. I mean, because I put some emotion into it, I put some thought into it. I mean, and when I finish, it's like, oh my gosh, give me a chair to sit in for a little while and just decompress. Because I like I said earlier, I want to give people value, so I want to be excited. So I want them to feel my excitement, and it'll take it out of you. Did you happen to ask Reagan how somebody can have 27 people watching them on TikTok, but they've got 250,000 diamonds?
Do you ever do that where you go and look at someone's live? Like, you see your daily ranking. Like we were top 100 today on our class.
Yeah.
And then you go to like the top people. Some of them have like nobody in there. They have a ton of diamonds and they're making a ton of money. And it's like, we have 5 times the amount of people you have in yours. How are you number one?
I don't have the direct answer. I've seen that. I don't have the direct answer for it, but the diamonds and likes are over time, correct? They never go down. So once you get up to 250,000 likes on the side, you're just continue to grow in likes.
But that day until it resets at night.
That day it keeps going up.
Yeah.
But at the end of that day, boop, you're back to nothing, and you're starting over again. Well, these people will have 27 people watching them in there with them, but man, they'll have like 237,000 diamonds.
Are they live all day long? And they're just having
I mean, they'd
peaks
have to be, but we would never have 20 to 50 people on a live like that.
They have to be going live all day long. And there's some people that do it. There's some people that live stream. They have a separate phone and they live stream 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Because I've gone back to the same lives.
And they're just sitting there just live.
And a lot of people aren't even live. It's a video that repeats and repeats and repeats. They like will show a screen or something. It's not you. If you pay attention
We
to
could
some of
do
these
that.
lives,
No. The YOLO Live can do that. Not that we would do that.
No, I would not do
but
that.
it repeats. So they are. It's automated. So they already took these videos and it's repeating and it's going all day on this phone, and then they can come back later and go, wow, look how much money I made and how many diamonds I have. People do that like a full-time job.
Well, like today, we had 67,000 people come through.
Yeah.
We gained like 3,100 followers. We all that, and we had 23,000 diamonds.
Yeah.
Well, that was an amazing day for us to get 23,000 diamonds. These folks will have 250,000. I mean, 10 times as many as we did. And you're going, how? I mean, how do you even do that? You know, I'm learning a whole lot because the one thing I don't understand about TikTok is algorithm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, I know you need likes. I know you need diamonds. I know you need followers. I know you need all that to help your algorithm, but I still don't understand algorithm.
Nobody does. That's what I've understood.
Do they even understand it?
No. So I work with algorithms in many different platforms and search engines. You don't know the algorithm entirely. You can't, these people that are like, this is how you beat the algorithm. It's just another selling thing that people are doing on the internet. And there are certain basics, right? There's basics on how to rank. This is what I do. Like there's certain things you have to do for the algorithm. But to know at any point what the algorithm's going to do, nobody knows. Yeah. That's why I see these videos all the time on TikTok where this person's like, they post no caption and no hashtags, and they have a video that gets 1.2 million views. And then everybody else over here is saying, when you're posting a video to go viral, you need to have this caption and these keywords and these hashtags and hashtag FYP. But then there's people that don't even have big accounts. It's just the algorithm picked it up for some reason and it takes off. So do what the basics of TikTok, pick a trending song, do the hashtags, do some basics, but understand that you can't beat the algorithm. You can't predict the algorithm, and anybody's telling you that you can't. It's not possible. The algorithm has a mind of its own.
No.
Well, I feel like I'm reasonably intelligent, and I've got a degree in math, and I just sit there and struggle when it comes trying to figure out the algorithms. And like some days, I'll get on and, man, like today, we had like 2,000 people in there with us,
Yeah.
And you're just going, yeah. And
So
then
Makes you feel good.
Oh, it makes you feel good. Then the next day, I may be covering the same exact material and I'll have 400 people. And you're going, what happened to the 2,000?
Yep.
And I'm doing the same stuff, it's just like you just don't figure that algorithm out.
I had a woman ask me the other day, what do I need to look like? Because I was talking to her, and I was using your lives for example, because I said I think what's really attractive about Presley's live is when you're talking about wealth and making money and changing your life, if you were sitting there and living in a homeless shelter, I probably wouldn't take your advice. And there is an aspect of it that is, you have a beautiful home. People would assume that you're successful and they would trust you based off of maybe some of the things you have. I do understand that. So we were talking about that because she has a beautiful office. I said, your background is very pretty. You have a beautiful stairwell. You don't need to show people your cars or anything like that. But just having a nice background, like it's refreshing and it makes me trust you. She asked, do I need to wear makeup? Like, I don't really like to do this. It's like, I do think you should be yourself. For me, when I do my lives or when I post content, I'm not going to be what every other girl my age is doing on there because it's not me. I think my people will find me. One of my last videos that did take off, I was being me. I was playing pickleball. I was golfing. I was playing basketball. Like I was being dumb and stupid. But I got this community of girls that were like, oh, yeah, no, screw men. Girls need to do more sports. And I didn't want it to be like that. But there was this community of girls that were like, yeah, don't date men. Do sports. And I'm like, I don't know if this is my niche, but I'll start playing more sports. But your people will find you if you're just yourself. And I told her, you don't have to dress up any certain way. If who you are is being sporty and you like to be in a cozy outfit, then that's you. But obviously, when you're first starting off, you don't want your environment to be the opposite of what you're trying to sell somebody.
No.
Well, like in the mornings, I don't want to look like I'm homeless, but
Yeah.
I mean, I usually just throw on a golf shirt and some shorts and some tennis shoes. I mean, that's how I do my lives.
Yeah.
Jordan, when he joins me, a lot of times he's just got some golf shorts, a T-shirt, and a cap. I mean,
Yeah.
You like shower and make it like a deal. Jordan rolls out of bed at 4:45 and shows up at 5 and
That's why the
sweats
cap
and a
is on.
shirt. Yeah. I can't do the shower and all that and wake up an hour early like you do.
So what would you recommend for somebody that's just doing lives? Because you said his live setup was bad, and I understand like the gimbal falling. What would you suggest somebody have starting a live? Like what kind of setup should they have?
For like the ideal setup or
Yeah.
just the ideal setup, which we have, is
as of second day.
yeah, it's a YOLO in stream, which allows you to have multiple cameras. You can have up to 3. It has HDMI out, so you can have a big monitor, and then you can put graphics on the screen. You can put like for his coffee break, I loaded in a coffee break timer that he just hits a button and it flashes up on the screen. 1.5 minute coffee break. So you have all these different things you can put on the screen and graphics, and we do free book giveaways. So he hits a button and now it's scrolling across the top of the screen. Free book giveaway. Go to Residual Earners on YouTube, comment free books to enter to win a free book. And this is scrolling as he's saying it. You can put pictures up, whatever you want to do. You can put videos on there. If like I was talking to Randy about, he wants to talk over his Grit and Grace, and I said just screen record Grit and Grace, like of you rolling through it, and then just kind of talk about it as it's going down. So it's just a super cool system that you can stand out so much from other people. So after that, it comes to the hard part, which is camera. Camera and lighting. We obviously are spoiled to have really high-end cameras and a really, really good lens for that camera that changes everything.
But let me say this. My little raggedy gimbal and my little iPhone here, up until 2 days ago, got us up to 90,000+ followers. Just so
You don't have to have
don't
it.
think that starting off you got to have this beautiful camera and all that other stuff. My little iPhone, my little gimbal, me sitting in a chair in my office with my little iPhone pointing at me, and that's how the first 2 months of
I would
went.
say and I know this is a lot of money, but $1,500 to $1,800 could get a setup that looks identical to ours. Like
So,
one of those Sony
top notch setup. Huh?
Yeah, one of those Sony, because like our cameras are cinema cameras, really made where you notice a difference in these cameras would more be like motion, like an athletic event, like they're made for movement and stuff like that. That kind of technology, I think, cost more money than just getting your basic Sony mirrorless camera that does have lenses you can change, so you can get a wide angle with a very low f-stop to get that nice background blur. And I bet you could pick something up that looks identical in a situation with somebody just sitting still for $700. I would think around that price point. I could be wrong.
But
Probably $1,500, $1,800 to have something
Top-notch
that looks
system.
top notch.
But again, just understand, you can start with this and lean it up against something on your desk or on the kitchen table. I mean, you can start with that. So don't think you got to get this high-dollar system to start. Now, do I like our system now? Does it look good? Yeah, absolutely. But I'll say it again. Up until the last 2 days, I've been using this little guy. I mean, that's been my whole system right there.
What was the YOLO in stream? What is that?
It's basically an Android device that runs the TikTok app.
Oh, so he's watching the comments.
So we're not TikTok living from our phone. We're
Right.
TikTok living from the YOLO stream. That is the app. So we sign in, go live on there, and then within that Android, I think it's an Android-based tablet. That's where all the overlays are, and then you just, you can see that you're live, and you have all these things over here you can pick through to throw on the screen.
And we got an out that goes over to a monitor now. So now I've got this big old monitor so I can read their comments. before I had to put my glasses on, lean way up, and get right here
Yeah.
so I could read the comments. Now I've literally got a monitor that's, you know, a foot wide by 2 foot tall, and now I can sit back and I can read it all and not have to lean up and do all that stuff. So
Yeah.
How much is the YOLO InStream?
900.
900. YOLO InStream, if you see this, you can sponsor us.
Exactly.
come on, YOLO.
The meeting we had with, what would you call him?
TikTok guru is what I'd call him.
Yeah.
I mean,
We had a strategy call with him this morning,
with Brandon.
and that's the first thing he said was, "Tell me about the system, because it dude, it looks awesome." It's like, well, told him what it was, and it does. It makes you stand out.
And that's why Randy was getting the camera and the tripod.
Yeah.
and
He's like, let me take what I can.
He's wanting to do it now. So,
Which it makes a big difference.
So you would say throughout your journey with TikTok, the lives have been the thing that have been the game changer.
without a doubt.
You know, we're still working on the monetization piece. We finally started, we posted our first product, our first non-violation product video today. So, you know, we're getting into that. That is a tougher piece. It's funny because with Presley, usually the tougher piece, and I'm talking to the wrong two people, gaining followers is not easy. It's very difficult.
Except unless you're Reagan
Unless
or
you
Presley.
just got it like
Yeah.
that happens
Yeah.
in 3 days.
I mean,
Yeah.
we got the feel for it.
No, y'all have a gift. That's the tough part. But you also, monetization's not easy either. But at least you have the gift of getting the people
Yep.
that want to watch what you have going on, which some people that will be the tough part.
Yeah. I say just be yourself and start doing it. My best friend is actually like 3 or 4 times more famous than all of us. She has 660,000 followers. She gained them 4 years ago, and she's a Latina, so she would just make funny Latina talks.
Yep.
And she's just a cute Mexican girl that puts on her outfits, but she's really funny, and she has an insane amount of followers. And she was just herself. She just started making TikToks, and she didn't try to be anything that the internet was trying to be. She just posted whatever she thought was funny, and she gained all this traction. And she had a community. That's the thing. She had a community that related to her. But I think I will say again, there's enough room for everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you're business or personal, just get on there and post and never stop.
I think so. You got any last words of wisdom for all these folks?
My words of wisdom that I'm not doing well myself is I would say just get over what other people think in the process. What your friends might think, what your family thinks, what the outside world thinks. When you're starting this process and you're making content, try to get that voice out of your head that says, am I good enough? Am I making the right videos? Do I sound good? Do I look good? That's what I struggle with. The people that succeed, they don't care. They get on the camera, they do it, they fail, they fail, they fail, they fail. But you'll fail a million times before you succeed. And when you succeed, it has the best ROI you could ever imagine.
I agree with that.
Anything else for our superstar expert here?
I think that's it. We put a pretty good over an hour in.
Yeah. All right, Reagan. Give people, guys, I'm going to say it again. We use Reagan. I mean, she handles our social media. She is the one that handled all the social media for our car dealerships. She's amazing. So if you need somebody to handle all that stuff, give her a contact. I mean, give them a contact, and then they can contact you. I don't even know what I'm saying. So get in contact with her.
Yes. Reagan Rugh, LinkedIn. That's where I'll be.
RUGH.
RUGH. REAGAN. RUGH.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, this was a blast of an episode. Thank you, Reagan.
Thank you, guys.
So
She's better looking than Randy.
I know we're lucky we upgraded.
I don't
do.
know.
I
Have
know
you
it.
seen the ladies and Randy's comments? I don't know about
Oh,
that.
my
It's just the
God.
hat.
It's the hat.
Just
I
the
think it's
hat.
them.
That's awesome, man.
Well, all right. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you. Thank you, guys.